Choux pastry or pâte choux is the most versatile French pastry that everybody loves. The signature feature is the hollow center that forms when baked. It's perfect to fill with pastry cream, jam, curd, or even ice cream. In this recipe, I will share with you a few tips to make this multi-purpose dough along with filling and decorating options. Once you understand the basic technique, you can make everything from irresistible cream puffs, eclairs, profiteroles, or even Paris press. So let's get started. Prepare the pan in advance and weigh all the ingredients before starting to make the dough. I like to use printed paper as a guide to make sure each shell is the same size, or you can just eyeball it. All-purpose or bread flour works well for choux pastry. Bread flour produces thicker, sturdier shell and more visible shape, while using all-purpose flour produces a softer shell. After years of experimentation, combining the two flours yielded the best result. The choux will produce large, sturdy pockets with visible shape but still soft inside. For fat, you can use either margarine, unsalted or salted butter. There's not much different. If you prefer margarine, make sure you choose a good quality one. Liquid provides hydration. You can use just water or a combination of milk and water. Milk gives a nice aroma and color to the choux shell. Use fresh room temperature eggs for best result. If your eggs are too cold, you will have trouble incorporating them into the dough. Traditionally, no sugar was added, but it does make the choux pastry shell more flavorful and enhances browning. Salt is used for flavoring. Avoid coarse salt. Omit salt if you use margarine or salted butter. We will start by combining the water along with milk, salted butter, and sugar in a medium saucepan. Make sure that the butter is at room temperature and cut into small cubes so the liquid doesn't boil for a long time while it melts. This can cause too much water to evaporate and can affect the final texture. Cook over medium heat, stirring as needed until they come to a full boil and the butter is melted. Take it off the heat as soon as full boil is reached. Add the flour all at once and stir with a spatula or wooden spoon until a ball of dough forms. Once you reach this smooth ball, turn the pan back to medium heat and stir continuously for 30 seconds to 1 minute until a slight film covers the bottom of the pan. This draws out the dough a little and also cook off any flour flavor. Now I will transfer this dough to a clean large bowl. Spread the dough around the sides of the bowl and let it cool for a few minutes until no longer hot. The key to choux pastry is looking for the right texture to know that enough egg has been added. The number of eggs depends on the egg size, flour absorption, and the humidity in your kitchen on any given day. I usually start by mixing in 4 eggs first, one at a time. You can use traditional method, a wooden spoon to stir the mixture. I found using a hand mixer and spatula is the best and least tiring way. On medium-low speed, fully incorporating each egg before adding the next. The dough will look separated and then come together as you continue to mix it. Check the consistency after you have added 4 eggs. To test, scoop up a large amount of dough, turn the spatula to the side and wait for the dough to fall. It should take about 5 to 10 seconds to drop. If the dough still seems thick and it doesn't fall, add just a little beaten egg at a time and test until you reach the right texture. If the eggs are not enough, the dough will be too thick, difficult to pipe, and won't rise perfectly. On the other hand, if you use too many eggs, it will be too runny and become flat when baked. There are 3 important things to look for to know that your choux pastry is ready. First, the dough looks shiny. Second is the fit test. When it is the right texture, it will fall in a defined point known as bird peaks like this. And lastly, to make sure that our mixture is not too runny, is to take your finger and draw a trench. If it's solid, that means it's good to go. Cream puffs and eclairs actually use the same dough. They are just different shapes. For the nozzle, you can use 12mm round or star nozzle. I will use both so you can see the difference. When piping, a helpful tip is to pipe small dots of the batter in the corners to glue the parchment paper to the pan so it doesn't move around. Let's do the cream puffs first. Hold the pastry bag perpendicular, about 1 inch above the prepared baking pan. Press to form a tall mound 5 or 6 centimeters in diameter and 1 inch tall. When it's the right size, release the pressure, straddling on the top using the tip to cut off any points. Leave at least 2 inches of space around each cream puff. For eclairs, hold the pastry bag at a 45-degree angle to the baking pan. Apply even pressure and move to form a line. When it's 13 centimeters long, stop applying pressure and angle up and over the eclair to cut it off. Then you can dip your fingers in water, pat down any points, or help form of your pipe shapes into batter mounds. Once it's done, bake in the preheated 170°C fan oven on the middle rack for 40 minutes. Do not open the oven door when the dough is baking, especially in the first 30 minutes until they are deep golden brown, or it may collapse as the structure is still unstable. So if you have small oven, bake only one pan at a time. The remaining dough can be set in a piping bag until the oven is free. Once it's done, remove from the oven and let it cool completely before filling. Look how beautiful and puffy this choux pastry is. You can store in freezer bags and freeze them. Then when you need it, recrypt the choux directly from frozen, baking in the preheated 170°C fan oven for 2 to 3 minutes or until hot to the touch. And the good thing about this dough, you can freeze them before baking. They will harden like a rock. Store in a freezer bag, put in the freezer. When you need it, bake from frozen according to the same baking times and temperatures as called for in this recipe. As for the filling, it could be anything from custard, cream, jam, or even ice cream. One of my favorite is cream patisserie or pastry cream, a delicious custard filling which is adaptable and delectable. It's easy to change the flavor of this custard to make your own creations. Start by vigorously whisking together the egg yolks and 75 grams of sugar for 30 seconds or until the mixture slightly lighten in color. Make sure you follow the steps carefully. Adding the ingredients in this order will prevent lumps. Add in the flour and cornstarch. Stir well until there are no lumps. Then slowly pour 90 grams of whole milk and mix again until smooth. Milk will loosen up the mixture, making it easier to incorporate with the pastry cream liquids later. Set aside. Now, in a medium saucepan, combine the 360 grams of milk along with unsalted butter, 15 grams of sugar, and your choice of vanilla flavoring. The small amount of sugar will keep the milk from scalding. Cook over medium heat, stir once or twice to help the sugar dissolve. When it comes to a simmer, take it off from the heat and slowly pour this mixture into the egg yolks mixture while whisking. This is called tempering the eggs, bringing both mixture to the same temperature so the eggs won't cook. Then pour the mixture back to the saucepan, increase the heat to medium-high and whisk strongly for several minutes. When the mixture starts to thicken and boils, whisk for an additional 30 seconds. It is very important to whisk while the mixture boils for 30 seconds, or your pastry cream might not set. Sometimes it's hard to see the boil unless you stop whisking for a couple of seconds to look for the big plobs coming to the surface. Now you can see that the texture is really smooth and thick like a pudding. If you don't see any little bits or lumps, there are no need to strain out. I will pour into a clean bowl, cover with plastic wrap touching the surface of the pastry cream. This helps it cools faster and prevents skin from forming on top. Chill until cold about 1 hour. And if you want to make the chocolate version, simply add chopped bittersweet, semi-sweet, or milk chocolate to the hot pastry cream right after you finish cooking it and whisk until smooth. Pastry cream can be made 3 to 5 days in advance, depending on the expiration date of your milk. Once it's cold, you will find the texture is like jelly. Whisk by hand just until it's smooth. This only takes a minute. Don't whisk too long, you can loosen the firm structure too much and it might start to get runny. Another filling option is chantilly cream. It's very easy to make. Simply mix heavy cream along with icing sugar and vanilla extract over an ice bath. Whip at high speed until the mixture is at medium firm bake. Set aside. Then in a small bowl, bloom the gelatin in cold water. Let it stand for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, add boiled water to the gelatin mixture. Stir to dissolve. And pour immediately into the cream. Mix well. This mixture acts as a stabilizer so that the cream is more stable. And of course, choux pastry is not completed without a chocolate sauce. To make it, in a medium saucepan, heat the cream until it starts simmering and pour it all in one go over the chopped chocolate. Let it sit for a couple minutes for the chocolate to start to melt. Then whisk until it comes together into a thick glossy chocolate sauce. This chocolate sauce can be used as an icing, letting it cool to spreadable consistency on eclairs, or you can also drizzle it over cream puffs as topping or garnish. There are 2 methods to fill choux pastry. First, using a chopstick or skewer, punch a hole in the bottom of the cream puff, or 3 holes in the bottom of an eclair. Transfer the filling into a piping bag, fitted with a 5mm round piping tip. Press to fill. When the shell feels heavy and a little bit comes off the hole, it's full. Wipe off any excess with clean finger. And to finish, you can dust the top with icing sugar just before serving, or dip to coat the top with chocolate sauce. The second method is to cut the cream puff or eclair in half with a serrated knife. Fill the base with delicious filling. Place the bit that was cut off on top as a little head or enjoy it as a snack. To finish, brush or drizzle chocolate sauce on top and sprinkle with some fresh chocolate or shavings. If you like berries, that's also a great choice. There are endless possibilities. So pretty. Let's cut open and look inside. Something I usually do for my dinner parties, take it to the next level. I cut the cold choux in half, fill it with a small scoop of my favorite ice cream. Pipe some chantilly cream on top. Put the top back on and store in the freezer until ready to eat. Then when it's ready to serve, I will pour some warm chocolate sauce on top, and I promise you, they are so delicious. I'm sure you guys will fall in love with it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video can build your confidence in making choux pastry. And if you try it, please let me know how it goes. Leave the comment below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone!